How to Celtic Weave, Part 1, Adding Covers and the Majority of Signatures. Very excited to share this method because I'm new to bookbinding too. So the supplies that you'll need are signatures and or folios, front and back covers, 4 threads, and 8 needles. To start, I'm measuring each thread 4 arm lengths. You'll need to do this for all threads. For every thread, add a curved needle to each end. All my pages are marked, so I put little marks on all of them so I can keep track of what is what, just in case I drop them or whatever. You'll need 2 paired stations for each weave, and the cover and signature holes must match in width. You'll start with the first section and start with the thread that you want to appear on your cover. Take that thread and thread it through the holes of the paired stations, just like you would do with double needle Coptic. What I like to do to keep my thread even is I put both needles through the hole and then pull them together, and that way the ends match. So double check your ends, make sure that they're even. And then you'll repeat this step for the other side of the signature or folio. Once you have completed this step, it's time to attach the cover. I like to start on the same side of each paired station. It helps me stay on track. You'll take that first needle and you'll thread it through the cover from the outside to the inside. Take the thread and go on the inside of the paired stations. Working from the left to right will help keep you on track, especially as you begin to weave. This is what it should look like when you go through between the cover and the first section. You'll repeat it on the other side of the paired stations. Make sure the thread goes to the inside. You repeat this on the opposite side of the signature if you're creating 2 weaves. So remember, go from the outside in, loop from the outside in, so the thread will loop around the cover and come to the inside of the paired stations. This is what it should look like after you have looped around the cover one time. You'll take the same thread, start from the left to the right, will keep you on track, loop around the first thread that you attach the cover with from the outside in. So you're looping from the outside in on both sides of the paired stations. Repeat for the other side of the signature. This is what it looks like after you have looped around the thread the second time. Now you're ready to add your second section. Go ahead and make sure you check for the mark, that it's in the right direction. Choose your second color thread, and you will thread it through the second section the same way that you did the first. So in this case, I'm putting both needles through the section, and then I'm going to pull them at the same time so that the ends of my thread stay even. You do not have to do it this way. I have found that it's easiest for me. Repeat the steps for the other side if you're doing another weave. Once you have your thread all the way through, place place that second signature on top of the first. Now you're going to connect them together. Return to the left side and start from the left. You'll be thankful starting on the same side each time. Make sure your thread stays to the outside and loop through the connecting point of that first signature. So you're looping underneath the thread that connects the first signature to the cover. Then you're going to repeat on the opposite side. You're looping through the thread that attaches the cover to that first section. Keep the last thread that you use always to the outside. This allows your threads to cross without messing with the pattern of the X. Repeat the steps on the opposite side. Take that first thread, start from the left, loop underneath the thread that attaches the cover to the first signature, and pull down. Keep the thread to the outside. Should look like after you have added that second signature and loop between the cover and the first section. Now it's time to grab the third section. Place the third section on top, and then you're going to cross with the thread from the very first signature. Start from the same side every time. I am choosing to go from the left to the right, so I'm crossing with that first thread. This is the beginning of the X pattern. Then I'm going to take the thread on the opposite side of the paired stations and cross. Start from the left to the right, then the right to the left, and this will keep the pattern consistent. If you get off, it's easy to fix. You just had to take a second and unthread it and redo. Repeat for the other side of the signature or folio. Start from the left-hand side, and you're creating the X again. So from the left to the right, and then the right to the left. Once you have your threads through, you can go ahead and tighten them up. Be really careful so that you do not rip your pages. Then you'll cross the threads just as you would with a double needle Coptic. Keep the thread in use always to the outside. So I'm starting from the left just to keep myself on track, placing it through the hole on the right and then going from the right to the left. This is what it should look like after you cross the threads. Repeat the step for the other paired stations. Make sure to keep the thread in use to the outside. This is what it should look like. Next, you'll take the same thread that you've been working with and loop around between the cover and the first section. Stay to the outside. Repeat this on the opposite side of the paired station, and then work your way to the other set of paired stations. Stay to the outside and loop between the cover and the first section. This is what it should look like after you have looped between the cover and the first section on both sides. Now repeat the same steps for the opposite side of paired stations. Now you're ready for your fourth section. Go ahead and place it down atop the third, and then make sure the last thread used stays on the outside. For this step, you'll be working with the thread from the second section. Start on the left side, pick up thread from second section, and place through the hole. This starts the beginning of the egg stitch. Then, do the same thing with the thread on the right. Be careful of accidentally catching the outside thread. If you do, your X stitch will not look correct. Repeat the same steps on the opposite side of the signature. Make sure to always start with the same side. In this case, I'm always starting on the left side. You'll cross your threads and then exit the opposite holes. This is what it should look like. Go ahead and do the same step on the other side of the signature. Be very careful not to catch your other threads. Go ahead and tighten your threads, and now we're ready to link. Start on the left-hand side. You'll be linking 2 below. Make sure only to link on the outermost thread. So in this case, I'm catching the red thread. So you'll notice that if you use 2 different colors thread, you'll always be linking under the same color. So you can barely see the red thread, but it is under there. So I'm catching the red thread. I'm avoiding the X. So be really careful about not catching the X. And you're going to pull that thread all the way through. And you'll see a candy stripe pattern start to develop on the outside. You repeat the same step on the opposite side of the paired station. Make sure to only catch the outermost thread. Link 2 sections below. So you can see the red thread a little better on this one. So you'll go ahead and catch that, making sure to avoid the X. There you go. You'll go ahead and catch that, making sure to only catch the outermost thread. So I am linking around the red one. It's kind of hard to see, but you'll go ahead and link it and pull it all the way through. Tighten up your threads, and then be careful as you pull so that no thread is pulled too tight. That way your book will be able to shut. Now you'll repeat the same steps for the other side of the signature. You'll be staying to the outside and linking 2 sections below. In the case of using 2 different color threads, you'll be linking around the same color thread. In this case, I'm linking between the first and second section. Repeat the same steps on the opposite side of the paired stations. When you're done with the fourth section, this is what it should look like. Now, add the fifth. From here on out, the process repeats. At first, it may not look like your pattern is developing, but you'll see it more and more as you add more sections. The last 2 sections are sewn differently, so stop when you get to that third to last. Make sure to check out part 2, finishing up the Celtic weave. That will be attaching the last 2 sections and adding the final cover. Hope you have found this video helpful on your quest to complete the Celtic weave, and if you have any suggestions or comments, feel free to post them in the comment section below. Have an amazing time sewing your book. I will see you soon.